My best friend secretly planned her wedding the day before mine.
There's so many other days that you could choose from, girl.
You could have done that, and we could have not pranked you, but it's April frickin' Fools.
April flippity flippin' Fools.
So there you
Day.
frickin' go. So I'm getting married in a few weeks, and about a month ago, one of my best friends who I've known since college and I've kept in regular contact with dropped the that she was getting married. I didn't even know she was seeing anyone. By the way, this comes from Tiny Bird's Nest, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime. So she then drops that she's marrying a guy in our friend group and that her wedding is going to have to be the day before mine because her father-in-law can't get time off from work on any other time that month, and essentially gave a few other half-bootied reasons about why other weekends were impossible. One weekend would be a few days before her period starts, so she'll be bloated. Okay. The other, she's on her period. The other is Valentine's weekend, and that's cringy. And then the other one is too close to Ramadan, so she can't go on her honeymoon straight away. Some backstory about the person she is marrying. She is someone that we always thought she had a thing with, but she would always deny it and say that she saw him like a brother. We used to argue a bit over her prioritizing him over me back in college, especially because this guy and I didn't really get along that much. Her and I were so close. Example, me and her had brunch plans once, and she spent the entire time texting him. After graduation, though, I felt like we all matured and put differences behind us to the point where her husband-to-be was actually invited to my wedding as my friend. And my knucklehead reaction to her telling me she was engaged was crying tears of joy for her. I truly was happy for her, but when I went home to think about it, it felt really icky. All year since I've been wedding planning, she's been asking me really specific questions about my planning process. She complained to me that as my best friend, she didn't feel involved enough in my planning process and said that she wanted to come dress shopping with me, which I invited her to because of her expressing this. But then for her to turn around and tell me that she's been dating this guy on and off for a year while also keeping it secret, making her feeling left out of my stuff, comes across as hypocritical. And then there's the question of why rush since she's known him a decade, and why specifically my wedding weekend when I sent out my save the dates back in March, so she's had a lot of time to plan and leave some time in between ours. It's not about me having all the attention on me. It's just how can she expect me to be fully present at her wedding the day before her own, and how selfish she must be to expect me to fit her into an already stressful weekend. When I told her this, she doubled down on the weekend that she chose being the only one available, that she specifically chose that one because she knew I'd be available since I'd booked a few days off of work before the wedding, and that she needed me at her wedding. She said that I would embarrass her around her future in-laws since she made such a point of needing to pick a date that I could attend, even though I had no clue she was even seeing this guy, nor did she check in if the day was a good fit for me before picking it. I then also expressed how upset I was that she kept the relationship hidden from me, to which she said she thought I'd cut her off because of my history not getting along with this guy. Again, we all moved past that stuff years ago and are a far cry from the kids we were when we all met back in freshman year. When I told her I didn't think I could make her wedding, she was so upset she cried and said she never thought I'd do that to her and skip her wedding. She's been telling other friends in the friend group that I'm coming to the wedding when they've asked if the date was doable for me. We haven't spoken since my conversation about how upset with her I was a month ago. I'm not trying to be a bridezilla, and I know people are entitled to be private. My issue is that she should have extended that privacy with me and not ask so many questions about my life, knowing she was being so tight-lipped with hers. This is where I now need advice. I feel so bitter and like the whole friendship was a lie. I can't make it to her wedding, and honestly, having her at mine feels disingenuous. She has been telling friends she is still coming to mine. Is it rude for me to not go to her wedding? Should I go to her wedding since this is a decade-long friendship? Part of me wants to disinvite her and her husband to be from my wedding because of the lies. Is that rude? And is there a polite way to disinvite someone from your wedding without coming across like the villain? So many questions.
I think if their wedding is the day before yours, they're probably not going to your wedding either.
I mean, allegedly,
right?
we haven't gotten like a explicit. It seems like she's implying that she would make it to her wedding too. I think
what
she
a
basically
liar.
said that.
That is such a lie.
Yeah, but we have an update. A few people in the original post were asking about rehearsal dinners and all that stuff. I'm Middle Eastern, and we don't really do that in our culture. Some people also said I needed to get over myself and that I don't own the whole weekend, which is true. I don't. My issue was the lying and also the expectation for me to to drive a total of 5 hours, 2.5 hours each way, there and back, the day before my wedding, and to attend another when I had so many things to finalize. I also just needed to vent. Being lied to and having something that felt so calculated happen in what I thought was one of my closest friendships is strange. Oh, and I don't think it was a pew-pew wedding, which a lot of people were suggesting. Anyways, I had my wedding. It was perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing. I didn't go to her wedding because I genuinely didn't have the time. I did see some videos posted of her wedding. She didn't copy mine, which a lot of people were worried about, considering she'd been asking me for all of the prep. So I'll give her flowers, though. Her wedding was gorgeous. Definitely not a 2-month planned wedding like she was making it out to me. In the end, she ended up coming to my wedding about 3 hours late. I was too busy being in our newly married bubble to notice her or anything, but I did get feedback from people who were sat at her table. Like, people said she would, in my original post, she spent the whole time talking about her wedding. In our culture, the bride receives a heavy piece of gold jewelry at her wedding. She made a show of her having her new husband take a piece of the jewelry out of her bag and putting it on her at the table just after my husband and I, feel so nice saying that, did our outfit change. She was also showing off other pieces of jewelry that she received, making a point to emphasize that she received real sapphires and real diamonds.
Oh, that's so cool that you have human suffering gemeralds. Nice.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Her and her husband also spent the whole time texting each other, which means they were probably saying not very nice things that they didn't want our mutual friends overhearing. And she frequently would turn to him and say, "Don't worry, we're leaving soon." They were also packing on the PDA with neck kisses. She also then cried to my mom and brother about how she doesn't understand why I've not been talking to her and how I've been so cold to her. This wasn't true. I'd only told her how much her actions and lies had hurt me, and to be honest, she was the one who didn't respond to my last message. My mom, being the classic mom she is, brought her to me and tried to make us hug it out. We have a very awkward exchange caught on camera. It's like,
I really wish we could get that. I want to see
an angry TP hug.
My mom did tell my friend that she shouldn't have lied to me for a whole year, though, so it's nice to know that she had my back, even if she pulled the typical mom move of just trying to make everyone happy. Now, our mutual friends are all on my side. No one really thinks she's in the right. Thank God.
Oh, yeah. Well, woof.
Most of them didn't go to her wedding. With the invites being so last minute and her wedding being on a weekday, a lot of people couldn't take the time off and get childcare, of course. No one else knew about the wedding, which is crazy. Nobody. By the way, you know what else is crazy, Dakota?
I have a feeling I do.
What do you think it is?
Could it possibly be that we have a huge catalog with full episodes with stories like this?
We now have allegedly 52 days of non-stop content. So yeah, go to Spotify, go to Apple, search OK Storytime, please.
1,248 hours.
It's amazing. Let's see what happens. I do believe that her truth is that she doesn't think she's done anything wrong, and she really does think that she considered me and my situation in her wedding plan. She's kind of like not assuming what we are. They're like, she's not in the wrong.
Well, I think in a way it's like, yeah, she did consider you in her wedding plan, and she just considered that she should be inconsiderate about it. Like, she considered, I'm not going to care that her wedding is tomorrow.
It's too fishy. There's too many things.
She didn't care.
There's too many things.
She just wants to party.
Dude.
She's like, double the fun, double the party.
Double
the love.
Yeah.
Go to a club.
Double it?
Like,
she's like, I'm just trying to double it and give it to the next person.
Yeah, she's gonna have another secret marriage in like a month.
Just inspiring you, OP. That's all.
He's got a twin. He's got a secret twin nobody knows about.
No, please. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those friendships where we no longer really align, and I have taken a step back and distanced myself from her. I do appreciate that she came to my wedding. However, I think she did it to make a point more than out of the goodness of her heart and respect for our friendship, considering what she pulled.
Girl, she showed up to your wedding to upstage you. You're like, I appreciate that she came to my wedding. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
She came to make it about her.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, honestly. Edited to add some more information that people were asking, and apparently it's already in there.
It was already in there. They had edited it earlier.
That's crazy.
Whew. Yeah, I don't know if OP is like a sweetie pie or if they're just like completely delusional about this.
Yeah.
But it's like not a whole lot to be appreciative about from her presence at your wedding.
I feel like she can be more almost being like a-hole to herself. Like,
yeah,
you deserve to be, I mean, and she's like, it seems like she's politely distancing herself, which fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's just wild. Like a weekday wedding, one. That's just like crazy to me. Like, surprise wedding. weekday wedding, day before OP's wedding. Nobody go, like not everyone goes. Yeah, what do you expect? Like 2 + 2 = 4. Like,
No, her 2 + 2 = fish.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what this lady thinks.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard will
two-
tell you how to make that work.